Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, March the 15th, and it is my birthday. And I wanted to take a few minutes and show you guys what I'm doing. This is the Lennar Toys 7-inch City Hunter Predator that I previously reviewed this past evening on YouTube. And I wanted to repaint this figure. So what I did was I've applied about 3 coats of black wash to the figure and then wiped it down. And I went back and I repainted his toe and hand claws, fingernails, whatever you'd like to call them, khaki color like I did with a 12-inch figure. Now their mask isn't removable, so I couldn't paint his fangs or anything. But I repainted those, and I repainted his wrist blade using these Elmer's painter's pens. I used the medium and the fine point, and I have several different colors that I use, particularly the metallic colors. Also painted his plasma caster. That's a metallic blue. And then I painted his wrist computer there. You can see there's a little bit of red on it right here. And I've painted the metallic ornamental locks on his appendages. Everyone calls these dreadlocks. Predators don't have hair. These are some sort of appendages that they grow. And these ornamental locks or fasteners, whatever they are, is part of their tribal identity. And I've dry brushed some black onto his armor and his body, and started painting in his body knit. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is this area right here. This thigh armor on his right leg was all yellow, just molded yellow like the rest of his body. And I didn't want to leave it that way. I wanted it to match the rest of his armor before I put the throwing disc on there. But I didn't know what color they used. So what I did was I took this real navy from Apple Barrel and put it in my palette, and then I began adding drops of the dark granite multi-surface into the same palette. And I just continued adding drops of the dark granite until I got it to a color that looked like his armor. And I applied it onto the thigh armor section after putting down a coat with the Elmer's painter's pen. And lo and behold, it looks like it's beginning to match his armor. And what I'll do is, once this coat dries, I will use a flat brush to paint it again. And if it matches, I will go back with the gunmetal gray metallic that I've used to dry brush his armor with, and dry brush that area as well to blend it in to match the rest of his armor. One of the other things I did, if you look here in the top edge of his armor, as well as the bottom, all of that is molded yellow plastic. They don't take the time to paint all of that in. So I use the Elmer's pen to paint it silver, and then I'll go back with this color I've matched and go over it. And then I will go back with the gunmetal gray to blend it in and make it match the rest of the armor. I like getting all the little details like that done so that it matches, you know, from whatever angle you're looking at. Because when you're taking pictures of toys, particularly action figures, you would be surprised the smallest thing that will pop out after you've taken the picture. And the last thing you want to do is post a picture online and go, oh my God, I need to change that. And then, you know, have to go back and do it again. I've also dry brushed his helmet. There's black on there. There's the metallic gunmetal gray. I've painted the metallic areas in on there as well. And if you ever get an opportunity to look at any of their prop helmets and masks that they use for the movies, you'll see that the base color may look, you know, gold or copper, but there's many other colors that they have spray painted into the mask to make it look the way that it does. And it's just fascinating to see how the props department does some of those things, you know, with the techniques that they use for their airbrush and things like that. This particular figure is the one that I was going to feature today at 5 o'clock on Patreon with our official launch of the Patreon for Dark Horizon Creations. And after doing a lot of research with the analytics and things, I just determined that Patreon wasn't going to be the best option. I had a lot of plans for doing exclusive videos and things on Patreon, but I can reach more people through Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube than I can with Patreon. And I didn't think it would be fair to those of you who follow and subscribe to me, you know, who can't afford to pay a subscription, if I just limited certain projects to the Patreon. So I decided to cancel that and not going to do anything on Patreon. I will put all the projects on Facebook, Instagram. There will be notices on Twitter, and you'll see the video projects and discussions on YouTube like the rest of my videos are. So I wanted to take an opportunity to show you guys this. This is, again, the Lennar Toys 7-inch City Hunter Predator. So if you guys decide to custom paint this figure and you want to match this thigh armor, you're going to need to buy these 2 bottles of paint that I've shown you over here. Put that real navy down first, and then begin slowly adding drops of dark granite until you get a consistency where it matches his armor. And the best way to get it to match is after you've painted the armor. After you've dry brushed it with black and wiped it down, or given it a black wash, and then applying this, the Folk Art Gunmetal Gray Metallic. And Folk Art and Apple Barrel are owned and produced by the same company, Plaid Crafts. You'll find all these paints in Walmart, as well as the brushes that I use, the Royal Art paint brushes. And I also use these that I've purchased off of Amazon, Golden Maple. And these are fine point brushes. They're also synthetic tip. So thank you guys for watching the video. Stay tuned. There's more to come.